Hello, Assalamualaikum. How are you? Today we are going to have our lesson based on English Year 6 first topic, which is reading a window to the world. Let's go. Before we start, please follow me and say these words aloud. First, genre, fiction, enormous, devastated, glance, scarecrow, amusing, inspiring. Can you pronounce the word? You know, there are actually a lot of reading materials that are available outside, especially in school library, public library, and also bookstore. For example, the picture shown just now, a magazine. A magazine is majalah. There are a lot type of magazine, fashion magazine, about cars, about home decorations. All of that are reading materials. You can read, and there are a lot of pictures also in magazine. Gambar-gambar tu menarik to make you interested to read. Besides that, there are also comic books. I know you like to read comic books. Buku kartun senang kata, buku komik. And about superheroes, about cartoons like Doraemon, Crayon Shin-chan, or maybe Lawak Campus. Okay. Besides that, a newspaper. Maybe your parents or your grandfather or your grandmom usually read newspapers. Newspaper is surat khabar. Newspaper usually tabloid, a big size, contains a lot of words and pictures too. Okay. Besides that, brochure. Okay, brochure is something like this. This is a brochure about Kuala Lumpur. Into a map and guide. It shows you about the map of Kuala Lumpur and also description about interesting places in Kuala Lumpur. Actually, a brochure also is a reading material, and you can get a lot of information from brochure. If you plan to go to Kuala Lumpur, for example, you can read this brochure to know the best places that you can visit, or public transportation, and also information sign. Usually you can see them by the roadside, or if you visit to the zoo. Kan ada kan, di setiap kandang haiwan di zoo ada tulis. Contohnya, example, tiger. The scientific name of the tiger, where it come from, and also their habitat, the species, information. Itu maklumat tu pun reading materials. And also last, web article. Web article is artikel yang kita dapat daripada laman web, yang biasa kita baca di internet. Sebab sekarang kadang-kadang berita, fakta, contohnya tips-tips kesihatan, healthy tips. So web article, definitely it is a reading material worth for you to read. And of course, you have books, also reading materials. The first genre is fiction. Fiction is a story that was made up by the writer. The characters, settings, and plots are made up and not factual. Buku cerita fiksyen adalah cerita yang direka. Semua watak, jalan cerita dan latar adalah rekaan penulis semata-mata. For example, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It tells you about Charlie's adventure after he won a ticket to visit a chocolate factory. The second genre is non-fiction. Non-fiction books contains facts and not made up by the writer. Buku fiksyen adalah buku berbentuk fakta dan bukan rekaan. This genre usually tells about science facts or historical events. Biasanya, buku-buku ini menceritakan tentang fakta-fakta sains dan sejarah. For example, the book A Frog's Life tells you about the life cycles of a frog. The third genre is autobiography. This genre is about an important or famous person. It tells about the background of the person. Genre ini menceritakan tentang latar belakang dan sejarah hidup seseorang yang penting. For example, Who Was Walt Disney tells you about the life events of the founder of Walt Disney. Sebagai contoh, buku ini menceritakan tentang pengasas Walt Disney. The fourth genre is fantasy. Fantasy stories are usually written with some magical elements in it. The writers use their full imagination to make the story. Fantasi adalah cerita rekaan dengan unsur-unsur magis dan ditulis mengikut imajinasi penulis. Sometimes the story are illogical too. For example, Harry Potter series has magical elements in its story. Buku Harry Potter adalah siri buku fantasi yang sangat popular. The fifth genre is novel. Novels are long stories written using the writer's imaginations. It often involves many conflicts and characters. Novel adalah cerita rekaan tetapi lebih panjang dan melibatkan banyak konflik dan watak. For example, Janji Atira tells you about the challenges Atira faced in order to complete her promises. Last but not least, the sixth genre is poetry. Poetry is a type of literature and it usually contains poems, limericks or short stories. Puisi adalah sejenis kesastraan yang terdiri daripada sajak, syair dan cerpen. For example, your anthology of poems for year 4, 5 and 6 contains a lot of poems for children. Do you know reading has a lot of benefits? Ada begitu banyak kebaikan membaca. Here, I highlighted 5 points for you. First, if you read more, you will add new knowledge. Kamu akan tambah ilmu yang baru. This is because when you read, you will know more. Semakin banyak awak baca, semakin banyak awak tahu. For example, you read a fiction book about sun. So, when you read, you will know better about sun, hence it will help you in school. Bila kamu dah tahu banyak, ia akan membantu kamu dalam pelajaran di sekolah. Number 2, reading makes you feel relaxed and unstressful. Of course, when you want to read, you will look for a place that you feel comfortable. For example, you will sit on your chair or lying on your bed or on the sofa. So, by feeling comfortable with a good books, you will feel relaxed and unstressful. You will forget about your problems. Apabila kita nak membaca, semestinya kita mencari tempat yang selesa. Sebagai contoh, di atas kerusi ataupun berbaring. Bila kita rasa selesa, kita akan rasa tenang. Third, by reading, you can avoid boredom. Boredom means kebosanan. When you read more, you will notice that the time flies very fast. This is because you are enjoying what you read. Apabila kita menikmati apa yang kita baca itu sebenarnya, kita akan merasakan seperti masa berjalan dengan pantas. And your free time can be filled with a very beneficial activity. Fourth, when you read, it enhances your imagination. When you read, actually you are imagining the situation that stated in the book. Bila kita membaca sebenarnya, kita membayangkan apa yang sedang berlaku. It will help you to be more creative, especially in writing an essay. Last but not least, reading improves your vocabulary and comprehension. Reading actually helps you to know more words and understand about language. For example, you take an English storybooks. You will find new words and you will use your knowledge to understand about the story. Katakan kamu ambil satu buku bahasa Inggeris. Apabila kamu membaca, kamu akan jumpa perkataan-perkataan baru dan juga perkataan itu dengan perkataan yang sedia ada, pengetahuan yang kamu sedia ada akan membantu kamu untuk faham lebih lagi. And when you use your imagination to imagine about the situation, it can help you in adjectives also. Okay, bila kamu membayangkan, kamu boleh gunakan imajinasi untuk membayangkan apa yang sedang berlaku, sifat watak yang sedang diperkatakan. There are so many benefits of reading. I only highlighted 5. I hope you can take reading as your hobby after this. Okay class, to make a good book review, there are few things that you need to mention in your review. Ada beberapa benda penting yang kamu kena sebut semasa membuat ulasan tersebut. First, you must mention the title of the book or your reading materials. Kena sebut nama buku tersebut ataupun bahan bacaan. Second, the writer, penulisnya. Sometimes in the book, there are illustrations, pictures. Okay, kadang-kadang dalam satu buku ada gambar. So, you mention also the illustrator atau pelukis dalam buku tersebut. Okay, so, nombor 1, the title, the writer, illustrator, and then the publisher. Who published the book? Siapa yang menerbitkan buku itu? And number 4, the content, the storyline, ataupun isi kandungan tentang apa yang kamu baca, isi kandungan buku tersebut ataupun isi kandungan artikel yang kamu baca. Number 5, what do you like about the book or about the reading materials? Okay, apa yang membuatkan kamu rasa kamu suka pada buku ataupun bahan bacaan kamu itu. And last, number 6, your comments. Ada tak cadangan penambahbaikan yang boleh dibuat? Kalau ada, if you don't have any, you should praise the book to make people want to read the book too. Okay, kita puji buku tu untuk membuatkan orang juga ingin membaca buku tersebut. Okay, are you ready for a sample? Let's go. Hello everyone. Today I am going to make a review on a book that I just read. The title of the book is Dilbert Dragon and the Magic Garden. This book was written by Ellie Wharton and the picture was illustrated by Maxine Lee. This book tells you about Dilbert, a dragonfly who wishes to become a dragon. So one day, he asked his friends, a fairy, to grant him a wish to become a dragon. So the fairy pulled a magic spell on Dilbert. The dragonfly, turned into a big dragon. But dragon can put out fires. But dragon can make fires from their mouth. And Dilbert unintentionally burned down the forest. So Dilbert regretted his wishes and he asked the fairy to turn him into dragonfly again. The fairy helped him and turned Dilbert into a dragonfly again. Okay, for me, this book is very interesting because it contains a lot of colorful pictures and the story are very simple for me to understand. Okay, it also contains moral values, which is just be yourself and be grateful. So I hope you will try to read Dilbert Dragon and the Magic Garden.